distance in the light, vibration of a thunder.
Hello, loved ones. This is Matt Stevens, and this is the My Sober Addiction podcast. And we are happy, healthy, wealthy, and free. I am right here, right now, and I hope that you have been practicing a little bit of that. I hope you've been trying to stay mindful, staying right here, right now, in this moment. It's so important, especially when we have very active minds, as addicts tend to do. We kind of allow that side of our brain, that addictive side of our brain, to take over. And, well, that usually ends up being not good, right? So it's good to find ways to stay mindful. You know, I don't like using those buzzwords, those bumper stickers, slogans, and all that. But, I mean, hey, if the shoe fits, wear it, right? I mean, that's what we got to do. We got to do that. So I am humbling myself here, and I'm going to use a buzzword. Because why? Because it fits. It fits what I'm going with. So there's that. I've started back on the weekly podcasts, and I'm like, well, that puts you up against the clock, because I don't do this as my full-time job. That would be fantastic. I would love that. But currently, no, I am not doing that. So bear with me if I have some shorter episodes or some that don't seem to be as well edited as others, because, well, sometimes they're just not going to be. But that's all. Hey, we're pretty candid here anyway, so we're just kind of kicking it and talking about things. And I've been told, I guess, that I have developed a little bit of a knack for, or even a reputation for, saying things that everybody thinks, but nobody really wants to say. For example, I don't poo-poo the whole idea of maintenance meds. I believe that maintenance medicines have saved people's lives. And I do also believe that some are better than others. And I tell people this all the time. It doesn't matter if you are on maintenance meds or not. It's none of my business. It's none of anybody's business but yours. That's all. All I want to see you doing is moving your life forward, getting your relationships back in order, getting your finances back in order. If you owe the IRS money, get that going. That's what I had to do. Yeah, that's that. And that's a fun one. But yeah, it's pretty good though, because I've got a whole thing set up with them, payment arrangement, and it's going. And I kind of hope that, I shouldn't hope, I'm going to talk to them about it. I'm almost certain that I'll be able to get them to go for it. But to cut me some slack on the penalties and fees, because that's really kind of or interest and fees, I guess. Whatever it is, same thing. Anyway, that's where they kind of get you. But anyway, loved ones, I wanted to talk to you more about staying in your now, staying right here, right now. Because that is where we are, right? I mean, the past is just a memory. And the future, well, it's uncertain. The future is a plan if everything holds up. And I'm not going to go too far down the woo-woo rabbit hole with you here, but with regards to the past being a memory, people who are into simulation theory can tell you, you're not certain that what is in your memories as your past is truly your past. This day could be the first day you ever existed in this realm, and all of your memories, all of your past was just programmed into it. Now that's an interesting theory. It is, for those of guys like me who are into simulation theory. Whether you're into that or not is not important, because we can still use that little tidbit. You know me, I will take knowledge from anywhere I can get it, right? So I will. And here we go. So if we look at it like, well, okay, so let's go with that whole, the past is just programmed into my memory. And actually, this is the first day I've ever been in this realm or this simulation. All right. Just humor me for a minute, because I'm not saying I believe that. I don't, but it is interesting. But it's a great way of looking at things. It's a great way to remind yourself that today is the first day of the rest of your life. Today is really all that matters. And I realize that we can create retroactively. We can make things happen in our past. I know that. I understand that. Now that's going down the whole quantum realm, quantum entanglement, quantum theory rabbit hole there, and I'm not going to go there because it doesn't even really matter. Because in a lot of cases, our past has molded us into what we are now. It doesn't define who we are now. Let's keep that very, very clear, because my past does not define me. However, it did mold me into the person I am, because I have wondered, what would I be like had I never found opioids? And see, I was a late bloomer, if you remember. I didn't start using it until I was like 30 years old. And I went really hard for like 10 or 12 years. It should have been 10, ended up being 12, but hey. But if I look at it that way, like the past is just a programmed memory. That's pretty freeing, because that makes me think, well, that is just there. That's not really me anymore. That's not who I am. All that is something that's just programmed into my head. And whether you believe it's a program or not, doesn't matter. The point is that today is the day. Today is the big day, because it's only today. We only have today. And I know smart asses will be like, hey, Matt, yeah, well, tomorrow it's going to be the day again. All right, you're right. But some of us won't be around tomorrow. Or some of us may be here. It might be the same person, sort of. But if you aren't trying to better yourself every day, well, then maybe you need to. So therefore, you could actually say, well, no, actually, I'm not the same person today I was yesterday. See, we want to be that person that if we go to a high school reunion or we run into people from our past and they say to us, wow, you've changed. We want to be able to look at that person and say, you're damn right. And thankfully, that's true. I have changed. I've changed a lot. And you know what else? I'm going to continue to change. I'm going to continue to get better and better every single day. And how do we do that? Well, I mean, there's lots of ways to do it. The main thing is focusing on today and getting better today. I always recommend meditation. Yes. I always recommend the awareness alarms to keep you present in the moment. Yes. Don't let today slip away from you. Oh, geez, did I just quote a freaking U2 song? I didn't even mean to do that. But as soon as I said those words left my lips, I was like, don't let it slip away. I'm like, oh my God, I don't even like that song. Now, the meaning behind the song, the lyrics are amazing. Yes, they are. That's true. However, I've said before, if I were to, and in fact I am, I'm going to ask you, dear loved one, here's a little homework assignment. Go look up the song by Dave Matthews Band called You Might Die Trying. Now that's a motivational song to me. Now that Beautiful Day by U2, yes, that's very motivational. Yes, it's a great song. Well, the lyrics are fantastic. But today is it. Make your move. What are you waiting for? You waiting for the right conditions? Here's one thing we know. It's never going to be the right time. You know that. You know that. If you're an addict, you know that better than anybody. That the timing is never going to be right. Because how long did you wait to get sober? How long did you wait to finally make the leap and go to rehab? If you weren't forced into it one way or the other, you might not have ever done it, right? Let's just be straight up here. We're always waiting. Like, I remember sitting in the back of a police cruiser with my hands cuffed, going to jail, and thinking to myself, why today? But then I realized, why any day? There's never going to be a perfect time. That's what it took to get me sober. I had to go to jail. I had to. I was out of control. And going to jail probably saved my life. It sucked. I am never going to recommend that to anybody. I'm like, heed my warning. Listen to me. It's going to end one way or another. How about end it on your terms? But most people are like, I'm waiting for the right time. They might not say it that way, but that's what it is. They're waiting for the right time. It's like, well, there is no right time except right now. Right now is the right time. No, I've got all these little loose ends I got to tie up. I've got this going on. I got that going on, whatever. Yeah, I get that. However, I also know that you are not going to take care of business while you're in active addiction. You intend to. I know you do. But you just don't have time. Straight up, you don't. When you're in active addiction, you don't have time to take care of business. It's like when I was in active addiction, I had every intention of working. And in fact, for the longest time, I did. I continued working while I was using. I was a very highly functioning addict for a long time. But that did catch up, and eventually my addiction took over every minute of every day. I would tell people, such as my family members, yeah, I'm going to be there for this or that or whatever. And to be honest with you, I really did have every intention of being there. I would tell my daughter I was going to be there, whatever. It's just 7 o'clock that night. Okay. And when I told her that, I can truly, even to this day, tell you, I intended to be there. And intentions, while your intentions do count for something, at a point, it's like, no, not anymore. At some point, you got to get it together, right? So if you're waiting for the right time to make a move on anything, and this isn't just about sobriety. In fact, most people that listen to me are not in active addiction anymore. That's really, I don't know. I'm sure there's somebody who's in active addiction listening to me. And if this is you, today is the day. There's never going to be the perfect time to go and get clean. What else are you going to do for the next month or two? Really? Break this down. What are you really going to do? Are you going to go take care of that business? Are you going to go get that car out of impound lot? For really? Real good chance that car's gone. I'm sorry. I am. But I'll tell you something else. If you think maybe your family might help you get that car out, I'll tell you the best way to get them to do it. Call them from rehab and tell them the situation. Yeah. They're like, listen, y'all, I know I'm out of control. So therefore, I check myself into rehab. But here's my deal. I got a car sitting in impound because where I got arrested. I don't know what to do. I don't want to lose whatever. I'm not going to go there and down the whole conversation. Point is, your family's going to be a lot more likely to help you, if they're able to, of course, if they know that you are in rehab. I can't tell you how many mothers have been relieved that their child is in jail. Yeah. They are like, I hate that he's in jail, but God, I'm so relieved. I could actually sleep tonight. I can actually go to sleep not worrying about that phone call. The lovely Kitty has talked about that on here. She's been on the podcast twice. And she's talked about that. It's like when you have a loved one who is strung out really bad on dope, you have a hard time sleeping at night. Why? Because you're afraid that phone's going to ring and with the worst news. But when you know they're in jail, it's like, I hate that. Oh, it's driving me crazy. However, at least I know they're safe. Yeah, jails aren't that bad. I know people are like, oh, shit, it ain't safe there. Yes, it is for the most part. If you don't run your mouth to people. I mean, I've been in jail. I know how it goes. If you just, I mean, don't be snobby. Don't be that bad, but don't run your mouth either. But anyway, I'm not going to get into jail etiquette. But the point is, there's never going to be a right time for this. Whatever it is. You want to start a business? Today is the day. Get busy. You don't have the money? Okay, fine. I understand. What do you need to do to get there? Start that goal. Here it is. We're in the springtime right now. It's spring of 2025 as I record this. The end of March. Guess what's coming up? Gardening season. Guess what else? Mowing season. There's going to be people out there. You're going to see guys running around scooping up mowing jobs and stuff. And they're going to charge people a freaking fortune to mow their lawns. It's insane. I don't even want to talk about that, but whatever. It's insane how much it costs to pay somebody to mow your lawn. And it's even better when they come out on one of those zero-turn mowers and they like zing, 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 zing. Like 5 minutes, it's done. And what takes you 2 hours to push mow. It's like, dude, I just paid you $80 for that? Man. I don't want to I'll get my blood pressure up with that one. But anyway, I know some people, and this is my answer too. Please understand you guys out there who are saying, oh yeah, well, if you don't like paying that money, go get yourself a zero-turn mower. I know, I agree. I'm not saying that. All right, easy, Tiger, back off. I understand. So anyway, dear loved one, right now, springtime's coming. There's all kinds of opportunities out there. If you want to start a business, for example, it's like, I work good with my hands. Okay, great. Guess what? You can, I don't know. There's all kinds of handyman stuff, mowing, landscaping, all kinds of good stuff to do outside that you can make a lot of money at. I mean, a lot. And if you don't have equipment for whatever it may be, I mean, you could be pressure washing sidewalks. You know how much those guys make? It's insane too. People who go around pressure washing sidewalks and porches and stuff, they go get themselves a pressure washer and get busy. Go out knocking on doors, hustling it up. Knock on doors. I know that you got, years of stains on this sidewalk for X amount of dollars. I don't know. You're going to have to do some research and figure out what the going rate is for that thing in your city. My point is, there's never going to be a perfect time to get started. Besides, today. Today is the perfect time. I don't care that you don't have the money. I don't care that you think you don't have time. You have both. You have time and money to get this thing going. It's stepping into the unknown. It's fear of failure. I understand. I was in commission sales for, 15, 16 years? Actually, more than that. But anyway, you got fear of failure all over the place in that. But the chances of you failing are whatever. But if you never get started, if you don't just take that first step, you've already failed. Yeah, you will be a success. It's like I said in the last episode, particularly for addicts here. You're going to be successful. In fact, you don't know how not to be successful. Because the way addicts obsess over things, right? With that redirected attention, when we redirect those addictive tendencies, right? We used to chase drugs really hard. And here's one thing I know. Like I said in the last episode, if I were a business and I were hiring people, I would very strongly consider hiring addicts with the understanding that you're probably going to be drug tested a lot. And it may seem unfair to you, but that's the stipulation. That's what I need you to agree to. Because addicts are fantastic employees. They go hard. They work themselves. They work hard. They're innovative. They look for better ways of doing things. They are so efficient and dedicated. So that's why I know you, dear loved one, will be successful if you just get started. And you see, that's another part of an addictive tendency. I've talked about this recently too, about how we have such a hard time committing to things. Not that we are just bad at commitment. It's just that we know what commitment means. We know that when we commit to something, that's it. It's 1,000 miles an hour, right? So it's like I'm either committed 1,000 miles an hour or nothing at all. No in between, no moderation. And while I do say, yes, we do need to try to keep that enthusiasm in check, we do need to continue to remain mindful and don't allow burnout to set in, and also don't allow that addictive part of our brains to switch on, and then the next thing we know, we are thinking about buying dope. But I also know that your tenacity, you can't fail. You'll sit out there, like for example, with the pressure washing business example I gave. You will beat on freaking doors until until the street lights come on, or until somebody calls the cops on you because you're beating on their door after midnight. But I know that you will go after it freaking hard. You will have more customers, more clientele, whatever, than you can shake a stick at. Yeah, because you are going to, once you finally make that move, once you finally go and do it, then that's it. You're off to the races. There's no looking back. Because for one, you're dedicated and you're driven. And that's all being part of that addictive mindset. It's just redirecting it towards something that's going to be good for you. Does it sound like a pep talk? Am I making you want to run out and go buy a pressure washer or something? Most people have a skill that they can do. I know guys who detail cars. They charge a few $100 a car. Now, granted, they clean out air vents and everything. I mean, when I say detail, I mean they really get in there. The little air ducts and all that good stuff. They clean. I mean, it depends upon how much you want to pay them, but I mean, they can get that detailed. What are you good at? Really, what are you good at? Okay, next question. Would you like to pursue that as a side project or as your main project? What would you like to do? What are you good at? Everybody has something. Everybody has something that if they apply themselves to, they can make their own way. You can be your own boss. Or just make a lot of extra money on the side. I've mentioned artists a lot. And yeah, I know the starving artist thing. That doesn't mean that's you. There's so many places you can sell art now. I mean, look on Etsy. There's like Etsy shops of people who have their own art. And then there's a whole market out there of people who want original art in their homes. They want that one-of-a-kind painting in their homes. You may not be famous till you're dead. I mean, your kids will love that, but whatever. I'm just trying to get those gears turning in your brain. What are you good at? What could you do? What do you offer? Now go do it. That's all. So anyway, dear loved one, if you would go to my X page, Matt Stevens, MSA, as in My Sober Addiction, and give me a follow there, that would be fantastic. Also, if you haven't been on my YouTube channel yet, that would be great too. That's also Matt Stevens, MSA, as in My Sober Addiction. No matter what I do, I always post it on X. Be it these audio podcasts, or be it videos, or be it blog posts, or just interacting with people in the comments sections and things. Right now during March Madness, there's a lot of that going on. It's kind of fun to watch them. Watch these like ridiculously overly fanatic fans. Whew, they can get downright mean in some of those comment sections. But whatever. I mean, I'm a big college basketball fan. I am. It's my guilty pleasure, I suppose. But yeah, some of these guys, man, they just get downright freaking mean on there. But anyway, that's off the subject. But yes, on X, it's easy for us to go back and forth, to interact, chat, and all that good stuff on the fly. So if you would give me a follow there, also subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm trying to grow that, and I would really appreciate it if you would lend me your support. It doesn't cost you anything. And wherever you listen to these audio podcasts, a rating and or review would be fantastic also, dear loved one. Just going to wrap it up with, what do you got? What do you do? What do you do that you can turn into something special? Or if you're one of those people who's like, I don't want to do that business for that. Okay, fine. That was just an example. My main thing is find something to direct your attention toward. Find something to keep yourself mindful in today, in the now. That's why I said those things. But it would be nice if you could start a business too. But ultimately, my point is to stay in the moment. Stay in now. Right now. That past, yes, it's part of your history. It has probably helped mold you into the person you have become. But it is not who you are. Don't accept that. Anyway, loved ones, my intro and outro music, by the way, is by a band in Lexington, Kentucky named Fixate. If you are on Bandcamp, you can find them there. They've got some pretty good stuff. Very alternative, indie rock type stuff. Fixate. They're on Bandcamp. I think their Bandcamp is Fixate Lex for Lexington, short for Lexington. So if you're interested in listening to them, that'd be great. Also, on my Buzzsprout page for the podcast, it has a feature where it shows podcasts we love, and it's got a lot of the other podcasters that I listen to. Yes, I do have my new friend Clive, and I am a big fan of his podcast, Breaking My Addictions, although I have not yet been able to add his to my list of podcasts we love. Hopefully that will update soon, and I will be able to do that. But if you're kind of curious what I listen to whenever I'm just listening to podcasts, that list would be a great place to start. So anyway, loved ones, that's what I got. I do love you. I truly do. And I'll be back directly.
There is a distance in the light.